Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us. We will get started in just a minute. While we are waiting, just so everybody knows that you've been muted as you come in, unless you need to talk, please keep yourselves muted the entire time so that we don't have feedback, things like that. We are recording this so that we can go back and look at it. And also for people who have missed the meeting, we can send them the recording if they request it. So just as an FYI, that you're being recorded, you can choose to leave your video on or choose not to. It's totally up to you. This is not one of those that we're gonna say, definitely leave your video on. We wanna see your fabulous faces. We do, but also everybody has Zoom fatigue. So it's okay if you turn off your videos. We won't judge. We're all there too. Also, if you can just introduce yourself in the chat box so that we're not talking over each other, who you are, where you're from, and something in your room that is blue. Since blue is the color that we use for Strengthening Families Month. Something in your room that is blue. So who you are, where you're from, kind of your area, that sort of thing, and something that's blue. Thank you.
It again to mute it.
I have a blue Elsa mug. I'm very proud of it. My daughter would be very jealous. Yes. Alex has a dinosaur sticker. That's awesome. Birds, water bottle. I want to see the blue picture that Stephanie's daughter drew for her. That's okay. That's fine. Okay. Maybe give it one more minute and then we'll get started and rolling here.
If you're just joining the call, we are introducing in the chat box with who you are, where you're from, kind of your area and whatnot, and something in your room that is blue.
I'm going to introduce myself while Amber pulls up the PowerPoint. My name is Melissa Lavender, and I am the program manager for the Montana Children's Trust Fund. I've been with the program since about 2014. And so if you do the math, I guess this will be Strengthening Families Month number 8 for me, I think, unless my math is off, but so we wanted to kind of get everyone together and kind of talk about what the Children's Trust Fund is a little bit, and then what we do for Strengthening Families Month, and how we can support local efforts. So the Montana Children's Trust Fund strategically supports initiatives to effectively strengthen Montana's families and keep children safe from abuse and neglect. We do this by investing in projects statewide that align with early childhood priorities and can also serve the needs of individual communities. We strengthen families also through primary prevention efforts, including increased awareness and access to resources before maltreatment ever occurs. So we're on the primary and secondary spectrum there. So what we hope that you will walk away from this meeting knowing about the different ways that you can be involved in Strengthening Families Month, and maybe get some new ideas for your current efforts. As Amber said, if you haven't already, please introduce yourself in the chat box. We're going to talk about different Strengthening Families Month activities that we've coordinated, where you can request materials from the Children's Trust Fund. And we'll also have some time for questions or discussions about what you're doing in your local community, or what happens in your local community that you're aware of. Many people know how child abuse is broken down, but as a refresher, primary prevention is universal, and secondary is that more targeted prevention for at-risk focused populations that have several risk factors associated with child maltreatment. And that tertiary prevention is where it becomes more of an intervention after maltreatment has already occurred. And our Strengthening Families Month activities, as you may have guessed, fall under primary prevention. We couldn't achieve statewide Strengthening Families Month without some key state level partners, as well as organizations across the state that actually coordinate the local activities. So shout out to Blue Cross Blue Shield, Montana Television Network, and Prevent Child Abuse Montana, which are some strong state level partners that help us get these resources out to you guys, out to the local organizations. So we're going to start with Pinwheels for Prevention. And Pinwheels for Prevention is a national public awareness campaign built around the symbol of a blue pinwheel. The pinwheel represents efforts to change the way our nation thinks about prevention, focusing on community activities and public policies that prioritize prevention from the very start to make sure that child abuse and neglect never occur. It represents our efforts to ensure the healthy development of children nationwide, while recognizing that child development is a building block for community development and economic development. The pinwheels are a happy and uplifting symbol of childhood. They convey the message that every child deserves a chance to be raised in a healthy, safe, and nurturing environment. If your community is planning a Pinwheels for Prevention event, please make sure that you do not use the message that pinwheels represent children who have been abused or neglected. This awareness activity comes from Prevent Child Abuse America, and the messaging must be around happy, healthy childhoods. Sorry, this year, their theme for the month is Growing Better Together. So just positive messaging around that if you are planning a local event. One of the other big campaigns that Children's Trust Fund organizes is the Go Blue campaign. If you've been on these calls before or been on social media, you may know that the Children's Trust Fund generally does Go Blue Mondays. However, this year, we're not limiting the campaign to Mondays, but rather encouraging the public to go blue all month long. It's kind of hard to remember to wear blue on Monday. I think we've seen that it's hard to remember to do that. So like we did last year, we are challenging people to go blue and then to challenge 5 additional friends on social media to do the same. So we will create a Facebook event and would love for everyone to share and take part. Basically what you would do is you would take a picture or a selfie of yourself wearing blue or with your family or your dog. And then you would post it on Facebook. We generally have a post that you can copy the text of and do that, but you can also use the hashtags that are on the screen: Go Blue, Strong Families, Safe Kids, Growing Better Together. We would love it if you tagged the Children's Trust Fund so that we can see your photos and create these cool collages. And then just tag 5 friends and challenge them to do the same. There is a National Wear Blue Day. That is Monday, April 1st. If you're looking to get like a group of people together to kick off Strengthening Families Month, that would be a good day to do it. However, we'll be encouraging people to do it all month long. Another campaign that the Children's Trust Fund supports is Blue Sunday. The Children's Trust Fund and Prevent Child Abuse Montana send a letter out to churches across the state, encouraging them to take part in strengthening family activities in their community. This is anything from having a pinwheel garden to going blue, incorporating a family strengthening message into a sermon, signing up on Care Portal, which is an online platform to connect families to concrete supports, hosting trainings for volunteers, etc., anything like that. Sometimes they'll take up a collection. So if you would like to do some outreach in your community, we'd be happy to provide you with a copy of the letter that we send, or we can also reach out. Blue specials are another way to involve your community in Strengthening Families Month. We would encourage businesses to strengthen families while also promoting their businesses. A few ways that we have seen this done and encourage businesses to do is have their employees wear blue in April, offer discounts, or just promotions for families in April. And then a lot of the businesses that we have done these with in the past will donate a portion of their proceeds to the Children's Trust Fund. But in a local community, you could do that to your prevention program or another local prevention program, whoever you're partnering with. So just to recap, what can you do in your community? So these are a few of the things that we've talked about is do a Pinwheels for Prevention event, a Go Blue challenge, some local Blue Sunday outreach, some local blue specials. You can do family-friendly activities, resource fairs, free trainings, anything like that. If you need help with materials, they can be requested from the Children's Trust Fund on our website. And we'll walk you through really quick how to get to that webpage. And it's not updated yet, but it will be updated in the next week or so.
Can you see the website?
Yep.
Kate,
Sure can.
you go to the website, then go to the Get Involved tab, the Strengthening Families Month. And like Melissa said, this has not been updated, but it will be updated very soon. This will have all the resources that we've already talked about, as well as a few others as we come across them. There's like a pinwheel coloring sheet that could be fun, things like that. And then at the very bottom is where you can request the promotional materials. And again, that we have a little bit of updating to do on that, but you can request pinwheels, drawstring bags that say Go Blue on them, lapel pins. They'll have a little card that they're attached to, and then the pens as well. The pinwheels, keep in mind, they come in bags of 12. So please request them in multiples of 12. It just makes it easier for us so we don't have to tear bags open and count them out. We can just throw bags in a box, which is fantastic. And that sort of thing. And if you have any questions, you can just let us know.
So we kind of flew through that. Does anyone have any questions? And feel free to unmute yourself if you do.
Melissa,
Could
this
you
is
tell-
Heather.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. I was just wondering, can you email me this PowerPoint so I can show on my staff?
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This looks all great. I'm excited about it.
Yeah. Sure. I'll put that link in the chat box. Lacey, you asked for the link to our website. Yeah, maybe we'll just turn this into a PDF and we'll send it out to everyone if that works, so that you're not getting a giant PowerPoint. Unless you would like the PowerPoint, then I can send it to you. Will there be opportunities for resources that nonprofits across the state offer for families to be shared? We have like resource guides. We don't generally do a newsletter. Sorry, ouch. Ingrid, do you want to, oh, sorry, you sent me that as a direct message. I apologize.
That's okay. I guess I was just curious for like how, if we're participating and we're putting up pinwheels and we're participating in Strengthening Families Month, how maybe our programs that we might offer for families could get more awareness, so that, like, for example, I run this free literacy program for kids 0 to 5, and it's a really good resource for any family regardless of their income. They can get free books mailed to their kiddos once a month. And so I was just curious if there's any way that this Strengthening Families Month kind of highlights some of these useful programs in different communities.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Maybe we could do a just an April newsletter and send it out to across to our listserv. Is that what you mean? Or would it be something that we could share on our Facebook page?
Yeah, I guess I can follow up with you about, because you guys are statewide though, so because ours is just Gallatin County, so I guess I'm just more curious about how, yeah, because we couldn't really offer it to all of Montana, but just Gallatin County resources. So yeah, I'll follow up with you.
Okay, that would be great.
Hi, this is Jamie Hazel with Helena Rocky Head Start, and I see there's
Hi.
a couple other Head Start friends out there from around the state. And I love that idea, Miss Ingrid. I know it's only for Gallatin County, but what a cool thing to get out there and potentially get other counties, however you're doing what you're doing, involved in this. And I know just as Head Start, I know all of us are getting ready to start filling 21-22 school year. So any kind of support in that, I mean, we're huge in the prevention of child abuse and raising awareness and empowering families. So what other people are doing too, I see someone's on here from Thrive, and what the whole state's doing collectively, that would be really cool to hear, I think. What do you think, Teresa?
Hello, yes, this is Teresa. I love that idea, Jamie. Those are great ideas.
That kind of brings us to our next slide, which is if anybody wants to talk about what is happening in their community. If you know about any specifically any Strengthening Families Month events that are happening in your community in April, or even just events that are happening that are focused on strengthening families, that maybe aren't necessarily tied to it, but are happening in your community, either in or around April. It would be good to hear about these things. It's kind of where, you know, the connections start to happen in this part of the presentation where, you know, somebody from Bozeman will say, well, this is happening. And then there are, you know, 5 other people from Bozeman, or there's a similar organization in another community. So that's a great idea. I could easily incorporate that or something like that. So if you want to unmute yourself and talk about what your community is doing, we'd love to hear it. Don't everybody jump in at once.
Well, I'm Lacey from Thrive in Bozeman,
Hi.
and I'm the new parent educator. Morgan is headed to Colorado, so we're going to miss her, but I've worked with her for 1.5 years in the parent educator role, so I'm excited to step in. Gosh, strengthening families, as you know, that's constantly what we do, and that's our main focus. So moving forward, we're going to partner hopefully with the school district in early literacy and strengthen all families, not just lower income, but work with the whole Gallatin County, mostly Bozeman School District, to kind of push their incentive or their new goals ahead. That's just now starting and is in the works. So we haven't actually got that going. They're working on the fundraising part of that as we speak. And of course we do all the, you know, Circle of Security, Love and Logic and all that stuff. I am interested in Thanks, Ingrid.
Yeah, sounds good.
I could jump in really quick. I got on the meeting a little bit late. My name is Heather Stinson. I'm from Butte. And a project that I've been working with, the Children's Trust Fund, oh God, how long has it been? 5 years now?
Almost long time.
Long time. And they helped us become national trainers for a national group called Circle of Parents. Circle of Parents is a national support group for families with children have disabilities. It can be, that's our specific group here in Butte. We have grandparents raising grandchildren, Circle of Parents groups. We have recently received a $160,000 grant from Children's Special Healthcare Services to go around the state of Montana and help groups get started. So we've done a group in Polson, Ronan, Big Arm. We're up in Great Falls. So in Great Falls, we've got a kinship Circle of Parents group, a foster parent group. We have parents in recovery groups. So it doesn't just have to be families with children with special health services. It can be however we can support those families, what's unique in your community, what's a need in your community, and how we can help support. It's a 3-day training. We train the facilitator, and we also provide the funding. So we pay for meals for all the meetings. We pay stipends for the parent leaders and the facilitators, and we pay stipends for childcare providers. Our training is really based on the 5 protective factors and how to help families in times of crisis, in times of struggle. You know, kind of from my experience, I'm a mother with a child with special needs. He's 22 now, but he's still my baby. And so just, we have a very diverse group, and then we come together as a state. And like when we were legislating for the graduation age to change to 21 for the state of Montana. Like Montana and the state of Maine are the only 2 states within the United States that don't have the graduation age to 21. which then we have a waiting list of 1,600 individuals with special needs in the state of Montana before they get services. So what that means is kids graduate high school and are left on their own. If they don't have support in their families or in their community, they really get swept under the rug. And then we're looking at a lot of other statistics like addiction, homelessness. So it's trying to protect and stop that from the get-go. So if any of you are interested or know of a great, strong parent advocate that I could reach out to in your communities, somebody who's, spoken up in a meeting or two and just looking for resources, we're already in a community that you live in, we can get them connected to the right people so they can participate in those groups. Or if you yourself are interested in becoming a facilitator and helping get a group started, we had Dr. Emily Hall who did the group in Polson, and she got the families together and the parents, the kiddos with pretty severe special needs, and those parents are amazing. And we meet monthly, and right now we're all meeting via Zoom, obviously, but when we hopefully get back to a little bit of normal, we'll be going back into in-person. But I can put my information in the chat box, and please reach out, and if you have any questions, let me know. Thank you for the platform, Melissa.
Thank you, Heather. One quick thing I wanted to mention before others jump on, just the CAN conference, the Child Abuse and Neglect Prevention Conference, is at the end of April. It's April 27th to 29th. If you haven't seen anything for that yet, it is going to be completely virtual, which is going to be wonderful in lots of ways, because there's people who often can't travel for that because it's just simply too far. So that will be completely virtual this year. That will be posted on our website soon, so watch for that so that you can get registered, that sort of thing. And already the speakers are shaping up to be pretty awesome. So yeah, there's that. And then also the Children's Trust Fund has our awards open now. The awards are for like champions of children and families, those sorts of things. We have a Pinwheels for Prevention one. We have one for organizations, one for nonprofits, just those sorts of things. Individuals and organizations that are real champions for strengthening families in our state and in our communities, that sort of thing. So that closes on March 5th, I believe is what I'm seeing. And so if you have someone that you definitely think should be recognized, definitely get that form to us, and then a committee will review those and choose those, and then we will announce those on our Facebook page like we did last year, which was kind of cool. And then we will also, there will be an award, like a virtual award ceremony as part of the CAN conference that will be announcing them there as well.
I'm going to try to put it in the file in the chat box. So if you can, you'll probably be able to download it. Yep. I think that worked. Okay, great. So that's our nomination form. Yeah, like Amber said, it's due back by March 5th.
Really quick, I put my name and email and phone in there, but it says privately after it. How do I take that off, or can all of you see it in the chat? You can't?
Does it say direct message, Heather?
It just says privately in red and in parentheses, but I'm seeing everybody else's messages. But
Heather, if you go down to where the messages are and you click on where it says to and the name, and bring up everyone in the meeting.
Gotcha.
There you go.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, not a problem.
Little tech help there.
And there was I did notice a couple things in the chat box about maybe having something like a calendar or something like that with all the state events. We have done that in the past, but historically it doesn't get used. So we aren't going to do that this year, but the newsletter I think is definitely a good idea. So just so that everybody is aware.
Yeah, and we're always open to ideas on how to better do that. The way that we had done it in the past was a Google Calendar. And we had invited pretty much everyone that was on the call to add their events to the calendar. It just was very underutilized, and being the only full-time staff person to the organization, I don't have the capacity to add every single event that comes my way and update them. So if anybody has any ideas on that, I'm happy to take them. But the way that we had been doing it in the past was just very underutilized.
Melissa, this is Catherine in Beaverhead County in Dillon.
Hi.
And good afternoon. Or I guess it's still morning. So I have a couple things I'd like to share. One,
Sure.
I can certainly understand with being one individual and trying to do 12 million things. But we're in a different world this year because of COVID.
Yeah.
And we are all doing a lot more online. And I would just proffer that I think we've all become much more savvy about using online resources. So maybe this might not be the year to let go of that and to really reinforce that we take it on, not that it's on you, but that we take it on as far as adding our documents and our information so that, whether we like it or not, we are now virtual world. And I think you might get a lot more participation this year. And that's just my thought. I do have
That's a really good point. We can definitely add everyone to be a editor of that calendar. We'll give it a shot.
I know that we would certainly take advantage of it. The other thing I want to let you folks know about is that in Dillon, while it is before April, the Strengthening Families Month, we're kind of working to prep the baseline for it. So we are having a 3-part family mental health series that our first presentation will be on March. This will all be virtual. And if it's anything that folks are interested in, I can certainly post it on the website, on the calendar that's going to exist. Our first one will be March 17th at 7 o'clock and is based on parentguidance.org and will be essentially talking about family mental health and providing an online free resource for parents to ask questions, to have other access to professionals that are able to back them up. In one of the first Wednesdays in April, we're then have a conversation about children's mental health and COVID. And Melissa Pinyao out of Billings, who has worked with the Rimrock Foundation as the adolescent trauma coordinator for them with Rimrock Foundation and is now in private practice. She's putting on a presentation for families about just how kids have been impacted by COVID. And while so much of the information has been focused on us, on parents, on work, on getting around, on trying to work from home, all of that, our kids have been going through monumental shifts in what's happened. So how can parents support them while also being aware of danger signals that kids may be showing that parents are unaware of? Are they just being, cranky and staying in their room, or are they really dealing with depression and anxiety? And then our final presentation will be one of the last Wednesdays in April or in March, and that will be Deputy Dave Gomez from Boise, who is an expert on issues associated with teen use of internet and where the dangers are, where the concerns are, and what parents could do in regards to that. Going into April, we have a newly formed Early Childhood Coalition of Beaverhead County that will be rolling out some additional information, but that's kind of our lead up to the April month. So thanks for listening.
That last speaker, was that you, Catherine?
Yes.
Okay.
It was.
Catherine, would you do me a favor and please put your contact information in the chat? Please.
I'd be delighted to.
Thank you.
This is Erin Butts with Great Falls Public Schools. I'll just share that Great Falls has its No More Violence Week again happening the week of April 5th. And like so many others, those sessions have always been free, but they are moving to a virtual conference. So we do have presenters coming locally, but also from around the country. A couple I've been involved in. We have 2 faculty from Naropa University that'll be doing a 2-hour presentation on compassion and self-compassion, compassion fatigue. They are riveting and just incredible. And then on Thursday and Friday, we have 3 different workshops on Compassion Project, which is based out of Bozeman. And so if you're not familiar with them, it's an art project. That one would be more difficult if you're not in Great Falls to participate in, because there is a pickup for materials. But we'll be utilizing COVID and honoring anybody that's been impacted by it as a part of that as well. So just a reminder about that, and you would all be welcome to join any of those sessions, and you can begin looking for that. And that's through Partners in Prevention. And again, No More Violence Week. Jamie Wyatt Marshall is the one that coordinates that as well.
Erin, could you please put your information in the chat and so we can get in contact with whoever we need to join that?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Hi everyone, this is Stacy Dreesen from Billings. I'm from the Family Tree Center and also Prevent Child Abuse Montana. Melissa talked about some of the stuff that we're doing. Just wanted to introduce myself, and Marilyn Thorne is also on the call, and so is our Prevent Child Abuse Montana Vista, David. We're doing quite a few things in conjunction with the Trust Fund, doing the Blue Mondays or celebrating Blue All Month, the pinwheels. If Melissa runs out of pinwheels, we have some pinwheels also. We also have lapel pins, and we'll have shirts and yard signs. We would love to be able to have awareness throughout the whole state on child abuse prevention. So I'm so excited to see so many people on this call. We also have a site in Missoula. I mentioned Marilyn Thorne. And so they're doing some things in Missoula. We're doing some things in our area. And then we're also trying to do some things statewide. We will have a big event at the Yellowstone County Courthouse on April 22nd. We'll do a pinwheel planting, award ceremony, speakers, things like that. We're also working on some other things throughout the state. We'll have stuff on our social media. So if you guys want to like our Prevent Child Abuse Montana Facebook page and our Instagram, we'll be putting information out. If you have information to send us, we will get the word out about what you guys are doing as well. If you want to tag us on anything you guys are doing, that would be awesome. I don't know if I forgot anybody, Marilyn or David or Melissa, if you guys think of anything I forgot, but yeah, we would love to just get the whole month of April, do awareness and get the word out there about prevention.
No, I think you did a great job. This is Marilyn. I'm in Missoula. I've been privately messaging Missoula people that I recognize, but I am open to, I would love to see a lot of partnering in Missoula. I'd love to see us also be able to do a courthouse planting. I have a ton. I would say probably close to 1,000 pinwheels in Missoula held at the donation warehouse. So I'm happy to spread the wealth of those if that helps out anyone, and if we could use them at the courthouse. So if there's anyone interested, and then also, Missoula area too, and we would like to do some statewide stuff. So I can put my info in the chat if you want to get together for a fun Zoom. I'm open to all of that.
Marilyn, sorry, Stacy. You just reminded me of something that Donation Warehouse did last year in Missoula. Maybe they did this more than once, but they did pinwheel window art on their storefront. So that's another way to involve businesses as well.
Yes, and we usually have that on our building, but it was getting a little sad looking. And we also have Planet Kids that moved into our building. So we took it off of our windows, but that doesn't mean that it can't be on other windows. I don't, as I look out for the snow, but it'll be nice by April.
Also, if anybody wants to participate in the statewide planning committee, let myself or Marilyn know. We're having meetings and we would love to incorporate what you guys are doing throughout the state into our planning. So just let us know. Another thing I thought of, I don't know if you mentioned this, Melissa, was a pinwheel scavenger hunt. And that's something that could be done virtually or could be done. People can either walk around or drive around. So that's something that you could do in your communities as well.
I just wanted to introduce myself, Aaron Schofield. I am the director for Promise 686. Melissa referred to the platform, one of the tools that we use here at Promise 686 called Care Portal. We're trying to mobilize the local church to wrap around vulnerable children and families in crisis through a couple technology platforms. One is Meeting Physical Needs through Care Portal that partners with local Child and Family Service Department as well as many school districts to submit needs, physical needs of children and families. And then the other is what we call Care Communities that forms volunteer base to wrap around foster, kinship, biological, and adoptive families that the church either knows or that are known in the community that need a support network. So just glad to be here, and thanks Melissa and Amber for the invite.
Thanks for coming, Aaron. I'm glad you made it. Does anyone else have anything that they would like to share before we hop off? I was able to get our PowerPoint into the chat box, but if you can't find it or didn't get it, feel free to email me, mlavender@mt.gov, and I will shoot it over to you. Thank you everyone for coming. This was a great turnout, and I'm pleased at the conversation that we were all able to have. So we'll be able to, if you would like the recording, feel free to email us and we can get it to you. We won't be posting it online just because of ADA compliance issues. But if you would like to have it, just feel free to reach out to us and we can get it to you. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.